but what do you see as the biggest challenge that these B2B companies are facing when trying to grow in today's climate?
Well, I think the biggest challenge that they're facing from the sales perspective is being able to handle leads appropriately, because there's always this controversy about cold leads versus warm leads.
Right.
But if you have a so-called warm lead and your SDR doesn't know how to handle it, it really doesn't matter how you generated that lead. And I said earlier that I believe everything I know in life and business I learned in ballet class. Now, one of the things that I learned in ballet class, we teach a very simple 3-step method that's based on what I learned in ballet class. Step 1 is warm up. If you are a dancer, you don't just run out on stage and start dancing. You have to warm up, because if you don't warm up and get set up to do what you need to do, you risk a career-ending injury. Just like dancers, sales management there are things that management needs to have in place for their salespeople so that the salespeople don't hurt themselves and they don't hurt you and your bottom line. So what that means is, let's talk about a very clear definition of the target. I'm sure you've experienced this, Mike. I have clients that'll come to me. I'll say, okay, describe your ideal prospect. And they'll say, oh, any company that has 10 to 50,000 employees. And I'll say, you could have narrowed that down a little bit. Let's be very specific about who we're looking for, because you don't want your salespeople wasting their time. If it's an inbound lead, but it's an inappropriate lead, that's a complete waste of time. So define the target, define the message. Most salespeople create the problems they're having by what they're saying. So teach them what to say, and that's hard. We do it all day long. It's hard. Define the process. How many steps are there in your process of outreach to a likely target to get them to respond? And this is all the warm-up that needs to be done. Ballet dancers, we start at the bar and we do our plies, B-A-R-R-E. And that's how we warm up. We start at the bar, B-A-R-R-E. There are things you need to have in place for your salespeople so that they don't hurt themselves, they don't hurt you, they don't hurt your bottom line.
Wow, that's cool.